Imagine this. You're living in a world where the most powerful technology ever created is being built at a cost so massive that even the richest companies on Earth might not survive it. A world where billions, no, trillions, of dollars are being poured into artificial intelligence. Yet almost no one is making real money from it. And now, one of the most respected investors in history is raising the alarm. Ray Dalio, a billionaire who has studied economic cycles for decades, is warning that the United States may already be deep into a dangerous phase of decline. And at the center of it all is AI. But this isn't just about technology. This is about power, debt, global competition, and a financial bubble that could impact almost everyone watching this video. So the question is, are we witnessing the next big boom? Or the early stages of something much bigger, and much more dangerous? The cycle of rise and decline. To understand Dalio's warning, you first need to understand how he sees the world. Dalio doesn't just look at markets. He studies history. Empires rise. Empires fall. And according to him, this happens in predictable stages. At first, a country rises through productivity, innovation, and strong institutions. Wealth grows. Living standards improve. But over time, debt increases. Wealth becomes concentrated. Internal conflicts grow. And eventually, external rivals begin to challenge that dominance. Dalio believes the United States is now in what he calls Stage 5. This stage is marked by three major signs: massive wealth inequality, deep political and social division, rising competition from other global powers. Sound familiar? Now here's where it gets interesting. Because during this stage, bubbles tend to form. Huge investments, driven by optimism, often disconnected from reality. And today's biggest bubble candidate: artificial intelligence. The $675 billion bet. Right now, the biggest tech companies in the world are making a massive bet. They are pouring money into AI infrastructure at an unprecedented scale. We're talking about data centers, GPUs, energy systems, cooling infrastructure, all to power the future of AI. By 2026, this spending is expected to exceed $675 billion per year. Let that sink in. That's more than the GDP of many countries, being spent every single year. And it doesn't stop there. To finance this expansion, companies may need to take on up to $1.5 trillion in new debt. This is not normal. This is not cautious. This is aggressive. And potentially dangerous. Because here's the key question. What happens if this investment doesn't pay off? The problem no one is talking about. In theory, AI should be a goldmine. Companies invest billions, build powerful models, and then sell access for massive profits. But reality is starting to look very different. According to recent data, as of 2025, 95% of companies reported zero measurable return on their AI investments. Zero. That means most companies are spending money, but not making it back. Why? Because AI is not as easy to monetize as people thought. It's expensive to build, expensive to run, and increasingly hard to differentiate. And this leads to a dangerous situation. Costs are skyrocketing, but revenues are uncertain. And when that happens, bubbles start to form. The free problem. Now we get to the real threat. The one that could completely break the AI business model. Free AI. In the United States, AI is being developed as a business. Companies invest billions and expect profits in return. But in China, the strategy is very different. Instead of focusing on profits, China is treating advanced AI like a public utility. Meaning, make it widely available, make it efficient, and in some cases, Make it free. One example is the rise of highly efficient AI models being released under open source licenses. These models are powerful, cheap to run, and accessible to anyone. Now think about what that means. If businesses can access high-quality AI for free, why would they pay expensive subscription fees to US companies? This creates a massive problem, because the entire valuation of many AI companies is based on future profits. But if pricing power disappears, those profits may never come. Eating itself. This leads to what Dalio describes as a very dangerous idea. AI eating itself. Here's how it works. Companies invest billions to build advanced AI systems. But at the same time, cheaper and free alternatives are spreading rapidly. So while costs remain extremely high, revenue potential starts shrinking. It's like building a luxury product in a market that suddenly becomes flooded with free alternatives. Eventually, margins collapse. And when that happens, even the biggest companies are not safe. This is what makes the AI boom different from previous tech cycles. Because this time, the technology itself is accelerating competition faster than companies can adapt. The hidden risk for you. Now here's the part most people don't realize. You don't need to work in tech to be affected by this. Because if you invest in the stock market, you are already exposed. The S&P 500, one of the most popular indexes in the world, is heavily concentrated in a small number of tech companies. In fact, the top 10 companies make up around 32% to 36% of the entire index. That means your investments, your retirement, your financial future may be heavily tied to the success of AI. And if this turns out to be a bubble, the impact could be massive. So where does this leave us? Is AI the future? Yes. Almost certainly. But the real question is, who actually profits from it? History shows us that revolutionary technologies don't always reward the companies that build them. Sometimes they destroy them. Ray Dalio's warning is not that AI will fail. It's that the system around it may not survive the way people expect. Too much spending, too much debt, too much optimism, and not enough proven returns. So as we move forward into this new era, it's worth asking, are we investing in the future or chasing a bubble? Because the answer to that question could define the next decade. If you found this video valuable, make sure to subscribe, because we break down complex financial ideas into simple, powerful insights. And trust me, what's happening in AI right now is just the beginning.